All right, take it away, Christy.
All right. First, I just want to say thanks for joining us, taking the time out of your busy schedules that I know you all have. We're going to just go through a little bit of housekeeping right now. So, in case you missed it, the top selling products were Hocus Pocus, Cinderella Castle, I'm sorry, the Fall Fairy Tale. I don't know why they put Cinderella Castle again. Platform 9 3/4, Hogwarts, Hedgewood, the October Warmer of the Month, the Gingham Gourd, and the Sanderson Sisters Bar. So those are our top selling items for the week. I also want to make sure that you guys are on Scentsy's little site on Facebook, and they always have their monthly learning plan that they share. And so be sure to get on there because Sarah Walker always has cute ideas to work your business. So that's good to tune into. And also tomorrow, if you guys haven't done it, go to the Tuesday training call. And it's really used to be an actual call and now it's online. And be sure to register. And if you're working, if you register, you'll get an email and you can watch it later. So they usually have somebody good that's talking about something that is relevant in our business. So make sure that you tune in for that. Couple other little things that you guys probably know, but we're just going to go over really quick are things that are coming this week. So Wednesday, the seasonal 5-brick bundle, you get the early access to that. Where I know how much everybody likes the Mystery Buddy special, so really good time to get in on that. And I think Yvonne posted something today about the buddy drive. So great way to get your buddy drive started. The Glam Buddy collection arrives. They're going to bring everyone back and the new ones on Wednesday as well. Friday, make sure that you make time for the end of the month. If you're not friends with Dan, make sure that you do that. And usually we have them all in our team pages so that you can follow along. And then Saturday is the beginning of the month. So remember to start sharing all the different things. We have a new whiff box. We have the beautiful pumpkin warmer, the newest pumpkin warmer that's tiger printed. Make sure that you're sharing. If you haven't ordered your, it's so funny, I want to keep on saying harvest, but order your holiday brochures and get them out. And if you haven't, make sure that you get the digital form and stick it in your phone so that you always have it to pass out to people. What else do we have? October Warmer and Wax Bundle collections. And I don't know if you guys seen River the reindeer, but she is going to last for about 3.2 seconds. So be sure to share her because she will be gone if I'm correct. And then the Scentsy season collection early access bundle, I say that. And then of course the Nightmare Before Christmas Jack Skellington collection. You definitely want to share that because there is a lot of collectors. They'll be so upset if you do not share those. So I just wanted to touch on those, and we are going to get straight to the topic of LTOs tonight. And Yvonne is going to lead the discussion.
All right. And on that note, I just posted it, but make sure you know the holiday brochure does not show the Santa Jack bundle, but your website does. So there's a bundle for all of the Jack stuff. So it's like $130. So sell those instead of the individual warmers if you can. So check that out on your website. All right, so back in the day when I started, we had our catalog. And then we had the warmer and scent of the month all of the time, and we would come out with a holiday brochure and a harvest brochure. And that's basically kind of what we had. And it was simple and it was nice. But now we have all of these limited time offerings or LTOs. Um, which makes our job a little harder, but it makes our PRV a lot higher, right? So it's kind of these little gifts that Scentsy gives us, whether you refer to them as gifts or not. I'm not sure. Who here loves LTOs? Loves? Yeah, no, yeah. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship, right? Um, and I sometimes feel like I'm gonna get an ulcer that morning, when when everything goes live, it's like, oh my God, my stomach hurts. So I don't think you're the only one who feels that way. And truth is, they're not easy, but you get out of them the effort that you put into them. So we just want to kind of focus tonight on the fact that sometimes you can just maybe forget about an LTO or not offer it to your customers because you think they might not be interested in it. And I'll just give you an example. Recently, when the Hocus Pocus came out, I knew that I was going to be driving back from Bear Lake to Salt Lake City at the same time as the release. And I was like, how am I going to do this? Or should I do this? Like, maybe I shouldn't even offer this to my customers. But I just figured out a way to make it happen because I didn't want to not offer it to them and I didn't want them to go to another consultant to get it. So I made a way to make it happen, basically getting up really stinking early, getting to the airport really stinking early, and hanging out in a restaurant with my hotspot and my laptop and my iPad. And I made it happen. And I got like $1,000 worth of PRV that day that I wouldn't have had otherwise if I had just said, this is too hard, I'm not going to do it. So just wanted to give that as a little example. The other things is if I wouldn't have told my customers about it, it was all over the internet, right? All over social media. If I'm not going to offer that to them, they're probably going to go somewhere else, someone else who might. So we need to kind of keep that in the back of our heads. If we don't think we want to be doing them, we maybe probably should be doing them, or at least advertising and letting our customers know what's coming. So whether you take pre-orders for them or you just let your customers know about them, just remember it's kind of not our job to judge or think we know what they might want. Just for an example, if you didn't advertise Little Mermaid because you didn't think any of your customers would like Little Mermaid, how do you think that one customer is going to feel who loves Little Mermaid and later that day saw that the warmer was sold out and they didn't even know anything about it? Right? They're probably going to think, why didn't she tell me? And maybe go find another consultant who they're going to get it from, who has one and is working their business and might end up going to that consultant in the future because they know that they're working those. So just something to think about. What do you guys think about that? Like, would you go to another consultant if somebody wasn't telling you everything? Yeah, maybe, yeah. Um, but so it's kind of like the same way with scents. Maybe we don't like jammy time, but somebody else might. So we need to give them the choice. Maybe your customers don't like Black Panther, but maybe their brother does, and they need a Christmas gift idea from them or for him. So think of it that way, that we need to be letting them know about all the things, even if we're not taking pre-orders or we're not getting online that day to put the orders in, we need to give them the choice. And if you haven't had success with LTOs in the past, maybe it's time to try something different to get some different results. So I just wanted to see, what do you guys think? When Thursdays come and you get that text and all those announcements of all those new things coming out, how does that make you feel? Are you guys excited? You can unmute yourselves if you want. Are you excited? Are you scared? Are you nervous? Just tell me off the top of your head, anybody?
What was the
I get
question?
excited and I post it all.
Oh,
What was that?
what was the
I
question?
get excited and post it.
Okay, the question was, when you see those announcements that come out Thursday morning, how does that make you feel?
I'm excited to see those announcements. But then that just means, you have to have a system to like notify your people.
Totally. Does it make you nervous because you don't know what you're going to do with it? Like,
I think it's just important to at least like, hey, this is coming out. I always do like a Scent News like Thursday announcement after something posts on Thursday and just say, this is what's coming. And if they want to know more information, they can ask, and then I'll just at least get the information out there and then can elaborate more during the weekend if I needed to.
perfect. And I think that's super important to don't ignore those announcements. Go in there and read them and see what it is, because it's your job to know what's coming. Hey, Brandy, glad you're joining us. Nicole. And I think sometimes you can end up with like analysis paralysis, right? Like too much stuff, like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So we want to give you some different ideas tonight on what to do with LTOs, what to do when you get that message and you're all of a sudden like, how do I get this information out to my customers? So we want you guys to share some of the things that you do when LTOs come out. And there's no right or wrong answers. And I'd love you to take some notes, because maybe something that somebody else does is something you hadn't thought of. But we want to have a plan so that when that next announcement comes out on Thursday, because there will be one this Thursday, you're going to know how you're going to tackle it and maybe try something different, or well, let's see, just to make the most of it. So who wants to go first? Amy kind of shared with what she does when she sees the LTO, but what else do you guys do?
I usually send a message through Project Broadcast and also post on Facebook or Instagram, which then goes into Facebook.
Perfect. The message on Project Broadcast, do you do it that day, or do you do it the day it releases, or what do you?
Sometimes I do it the day I learn about it. Other times it's like the day before. It just depends on my schedule and what I've got going on. But I try to get it out, so they've got at least a day and a half, 2 days.
Another fun kind of thing with Project Broadcast that you could do when you're doing that is ask them if they want a reminder once it releases, because that would be really easy to schedule in Project Broadcast for those people who are interested in ordering.
I've done that for a couple of them. I think the Hocus Pocus, which I only got one order. It was my own, but I still let people know what's coming and what's not.
Awesome. Who else? What else do you guys do? Nicole, you've been through a million LTO launches. What do you do?
So I've been slacking like majorly, but when I was really super on top of my life, I would post it on Facebook, post it on like my page on my VIP group, and then I would message. So I had certain customers, I still have certain customers that get excited about certain things. So like anything pumpkin, anything, Disney, anything Jack Skellington, anything like that. And then I'll shoot them a message saying, hey, did you see that this is releasing at this time, at this, on this day? And then I will offer to do a text reminder, or I just offer to order it for them, because then I can normally get like group shipping or discounted, and then they don't have to try to stress trying to get through the queue. I do it for them. And if I get it, awesome. But I let them know that, there's always that chance, and they can always try it themselves. But so that's what I have found success in. I really want to really get into Project Broadcast. I just haven't had the time to sit down and do the training and really dedicate to make it beneficial to myself.
Love that. And I know some people can't do the pre-orders because work schedules and all of that kind of stuff. But keep in mind, or just think of this: how many times has somebody said, "Oh, I'll go order on your website," or you'd give them your website and they never order it, right? That happens all the time. It's kind of like when I'm at an event and somebody else says, "I'll come back before I leave." Yeah, they don't come back. So the more that you could take pre-orders and the more that you could do that to get that order, the better your PRV is going to be. Just a little thought. Who else wants to share what they do?
I'll share a tip.
Let's hear.
So I use Project Broadcast, and anytime somebody does an LTO, they purchase it, or anytime we have an LTO come out, so I will create a tag. If you don't use Project Broadcast, you could create an emoji to add to the person's name. But in Project Broadcast, I create a tag. So Alice in Wonderland, Nightmare Before Christmas, Beauty and the Beast, Marvel, whatever it is, and you tag the person with that name. Anytime we have a new product release with that, go back to that person and say, hey, I know you got the child warmer and we're releasing a buddy clip. Do you want me to put you on the pre-order for that buddy clip? So you know what they're already into and can, you look good remembering what they like. And so it's a good way to follow up with them also, instead of just posting it to Facebook. It's that personal customer service.
That's awesome. And if you haven't created a list like that yet, you can go back to your order history and do a little search and see who ordered Nightmare Before Christmas and let them know what's coming out this week. So you can, it's not too late to make those lists, but I think sometimes when you wish you had that list, it's just too late. And then you just like, forget it. I don't have time, but make the time now to get those lists in order, or like Brandy said, at least put a little icon in your phone so that you can pop those up real quick and get messages out to them. I'll share a few in between you guys sharing. So be thinking about what you want to share next for those of you who haven't yet. A real super simple one too is to let your team know about it. We all like to promote, we all like to get paid at title, but if your team's not working too, it just makes it that much harder. So not everybody, I think you guys are all on the ball and you probably all check your news tab every morning. Not everybody does. So if your frontline is in your Project Broadcast text thing, or if you can just text them, say, oh my gosh, did you see the holiday brochure is releasing this Saturday? I'm so excited about Santa Jack. Did you see him? And put a little picture there, just so they know. And hopefully you doing that to your frontline, they'll do that to their frontline too. So get that word out there, be that cheerleader that something fun is coming out so that they'll go take a peek, because not everybody checks that. Misty, do you got a tip to share?
Am I on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I just, with a little help from a friend, I started Project Broadcast. And so I think it's really great, not only for the customers, but like you said, for your team. So my first first text to them was the harvest brochure and the digital catalog. And, we all, as our teams grow, we have people that they aren't on Facebook and they, you don't get to talk to them as much as you'd like or whatever. So sending that out to them, I got a really great response. Thank you so much for the catalog, because I had said put it in your phone so that you always have it. And so I actually even took a picture of the PRV beforehand and saw the difference, and it was a lot, and looked at some names and saw that they actually were on the board. Because some people just don't work their business as a full-on business, so they don't know what they don't know. So it's nice when you can reach out and share with them, and they really appreciate it. So, and then I always say stories, even at the last minute, if you put something on stories before it launches, I feel like I always catch that one person that missed it through everything. So in the 11th hour. So I always say the stories are good as well.
And putting a poll on stories, I think, is really cool. like, do you need this warmer? Yes or no? Or send me more info. Just make sure that you check your polls because you cannot check that and miss something. So
Absolutely.
one thing that I do for every LTO, I've been trying to do that really kind of religiously all year long, is to do a Mad Mimi newsletter and a Google form. So on Thursday, probably Thursday or Friday, I try to do a pre-order Google form. So, and if you don't know how to do one of those, there's videos. I've done one that shows you how, but basically it's just, they're going to see everything. They're going to see the price. They're going to say, order me one of these, order me one of these, order me one of these. At the bottom, it's going to say, do you want it direct shipped to you? How do you want to pay? It's super easy. And I always get orders that way. I send that Google form with my Mad Mimi newsletter to like 2,000 of my customers. With the push of a button, they all get it. And then I also have that Google form. So when I'm posting on social media and I say, our holiday collection's coming, click here for more details, that detail thing is my Google form. And then they can order right from there and pre-order. So I usually always get some pre-orders that way, and it's worked really well for me. It does take a little extra work, and like right now, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do the harvest collection one because it's going to take forever. But but it'll be worth it. The time that I take to do that will be worth it in the end. And I always get orders from those Google forms and the Mad Mimi newsletter. So it's a really good way to just get that information out to everybody real quick. That's not on Facebook. There's some more ideas.
Sorry, it takes me a minute to find the unmute button. So like the Google form, there's also Jot form, and you can create 4 forms for free. JOT form, and you can share those, which is really nice. So if you go in and search like Scentsy holiday 2020 or 2022, anyone that has created one and made it shareable, you can then use that. You just change the link so it's yours, and like how we do with Canva, sort of, and then you don't have to recreate the whole thing. It's a little more complicated than Google Forms, but if you take a little bit of time and do it, it's totally worth it. And you can also take PayPal payments there, which I kind of find easier because people sometimes purchase in the heat of the moment. You know, they see it, they want it, they buy it. But if they see it and they tell you they want it, and then 5 days later you go to collect payment, they're like, oh, actually, I changed my mind, or had to take my dog to the vet. And so this way they pay right up front, and the money goes right to your PayPal.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's kind of nice. You can create your own, or you can go look for ones that people have already created.
Is there a fee for the PayPal feature on Jotform?
Oops. It's just the normal PayPal feature, or like, you know, PayPal fee. So it does a little bit suck because, you know, you have to pay that fee. But for me, timing, like I don't have to then confirm with them and get that payment and wait for them to pay me, or they Venmo me, or they PayPal me, or I get their credit card and then I have to put the credit card number in, which on some of these launches, I'm not trying to put 5 credit cards in anyways. So the convenience is totally worth it for me. And it's a write-off.
Yep.
And now that shipping is $10, that makes it easy, right? Before I didn't want to use Jotform because I thought it was hard to figure out the shipping, but now it's $10. Hello.
Yeah,
Let's talk about Okay.
I was just gonna say I put if they want to direct ship, it's $10, and if it's pick up from me, it's $2. So if I only get one order, I might have to eat that $8 or figure it out, but it's totally worth it.
Easy. Yeah, so whatever you use one of them, you know? Google Forms, Jot Forms, they're very similar, but to have that pre-ordered is good because even just sprinkling it in your Facebook or whatever, and somebody says, I want that, and then you have to get back with them. But if it's just there, they're going to go and order it. And guess what? When they see, you know, maybe you were just advertising Santa Jack, but now they're going to see all the other holiday things that are in there too. They might just keep going boop, 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 on the Google form instead of just seeing one thing in your Facebook post.
And I always add extra things. Like if there's a really cool mini warmer, I'll add a picture of the base, the tabletop base, so they can see the, you know, how to do it with a tabletop base, or colored light bulbs, a 6-pack of my favorite fall scents right now. You know, you can add all kinds of things in there that people may not have seen.
Perfect. Let's talk about social media for a little bit. So when you guys say you posted on Facebook, what does that look like? Like one post on Facebook on your personal profile, or throw out some ideas of ways that you sprinkle it around social media?
I post it in my VIP group, on my business page, and on my personal page.
Perfect. Nicole, are you raising your hand?
Yes, hold on. I'm trying to load. Okay. So what I normally do is I make a post on Facebook and then I do something in like my stories or my reels. Not so much the reels because I'm really lazy, but I do the stories where I ask a poll, and it's not so much showing off the product, it's more so like showing off something of whatever the LTO is about and just saying who loves this movie or who loves this or who loves that. And then like the next slide is, check this out, and then do you know what this is? I try to make it interactive, and then those people that respond on those pushes, those are the ones that I message. And then I also post it on my VIP group and my personal page and my business page. And then I try to make it interactive, so it's not just like, hey, this is for sale. It's something where they need to respond on there. And then as people respond, then I'm messaging them.
Love that. Hashtags, obviously, it's a good thing, right? Especially if it's a Disney thing or something like that. Try to grab those people who love those particular things. Another thing you can do on Facebook is in that post, ask them to share your post or tag your friends. Ask them to do that in your VIP group. If you do like a monthly drawing and you give them tickets for certain things, give them a ticket for sharing your post on their page or tagging a friend. Ask for referrals if they know somebody who loves that particular thing, because maybe they don't, but maybe their sister or their best friend does. I'm not big on this. Maybe somebody else knows more information than me, but when there's big, huge launches, like when Jack first came out and Hocus Pocus and things like that, if you post it on your business page and pay to boost that post, you guys all see those sponsored posts, right? You might want to play with that a little bit on those particular really big things. And you might get some new customers that way. I've done that in the past, and to tell you the truth, I forget about it and I don't do it, but I've gotten customers out of the blue from nowhere that I didn't even know order things from me by boosting posts in Facebook. I'm not saying go spend a lot of money there. I'm just saying tinker with it. If they say they're going to give you $20 of free whatever, try it and see what happens. And if anybody here knows how to do that well, we need to have you talk one Monday night.
Kind of on the same subject, Facebook Marketplace. I don't pay to boost only because I got hacked and I ended up paying for some foreign person's ad. But anyways, but Facebook Marketplace, you can post there There's rules to it, but it is within compliance. And I've gotten lots and lots and lots of new customers from Facebook Marketplace. It's great and it's free.
And basically, when you use that, Brandy, you're just having to show a picture and send them to your website. Is that correct? That's how that works?
Yeah, it has to be a, like, doesn't necessarily have to be a stock photo, but it can't be like, here's the warmer in the box, I have one. It has to look like you're ordering it for them, not that you have it on hand. And you have to put your website. And I always, to get around it, I always say, like, if it's a pre-order, I'll say it's a pre-order, contact me to get on my pre-order list. If it's already out, then I'll say, if you have questions or want to know more, message me. And honestly, 99% of the time when someone sees an ad, they click the button that says, is this still available? It's an auto-generated reply. And then you can message them and say, sorry, it's sold out, or yep, I can pre-order you one, or yep, I have one on hand, or whatever, you know, you want to say in a one-to-one conversation.
Christy, were you unmuting yourself? Did you want to say something? I can't hear you, even though you're unmuted. Now you're muted again. She's like, darn this computer.
Okay, can you
There
hear?
you go. Yep.
There you go. No, earlier I was saying when you were talking about boosting a post, my computer heard it and it said you could boost your post for like it just came on the thing. I was like,
Alexa can do it for you.
Yeah.
I know Brandy uses Project Broadcast a lot, and she didn't talk me into it. I was like, gosh, I got to do this. She's doing good with it. So I do, like I said, my pre-order form before the launch, but on that Monday, when the launch happens, I do my Project Broadcast to my VIP people. And sometimes I'll do a landing page so that it will take them right exactly to, because now we have that coming soon feature right on our website. So you can grab the URL link there and I can throw it in my landing page. And so at 10:15, I don't send those out until like 10:15 when it goes live. But when it does, they can click right there and it'll take them right there. So if you aren't going to take pre-order forms or pre-orders, Project Broadcast, sending those out like at 10:15 that day with that URL link is a really good way to do that. And I just find that that complements my system really well because the people with emails get my Google form, the people on Facebook see that and get my Google form, but the Project Broadcast people can go right there and order. So any other Project Broadcast tips, Randy, for LTOs?
No, I'd say just you know, using those tags is really important because then it's easy to kind of keep track. It's basically like making lists. And yeah, that's it.
I also wanted to remind you guys that remember that LTOs are not just for one day. Okay, I mean, they are if something sells out in an hour, right? But if a warmer sold out in an hour, like Little Mermaid sold out, right? But the bars were still available. The buddy was still available. So when an LTO comes out, keep in your head that you want to order at least a bar, right? You want to order at least a bar so that you can make samples of it, get it out to your customers, because guess what? They can still add it to their Scentsy Club for up to 30 days. So what I would do on a release day is count 30 days on your calendar, put it in your calendar that Little Mermaid bar is going away, and remind your people that to add that to their Scentsy Club today because they're not going to be able to get it, especially those who you sent a sample to. Follow up with them, let them know you can add this to your club, but only until October 15th. So don't think that because you didn't sell any you know, hocus pocus warmers on that day, you could still sell those bars. They smell really good. But you got to get those under your people's noses. Also, if you get a warmer in that hasn't sold out yet, make sure, even if it's for a customer, that you're opening it, that you're going live, that you're showing people this beautiful warmer. So use that for sales later down the road, not just that day. How many of you have kind of forgot about the Harvest Collection already? Like it came out on the 1st of September. Are you still advertising it? I would be if I were you, because guess what? I mean, it's still 90, it was 96 here today. I don't think it's even fall. I haven't even decorated for fall yet. So still be showing those things, still be getting those harvest bar samples in the mail. And again, if you order one for yourself, make sure that you're opening it, showing your VIP people, going live on your personal page, showing it off, because bet you'll get some more. Bet you'll get some more sales from it. And keep an eye open for those pretty styled pictures, because showing somebody something from the website or showing somebody like one of those Rachel Pence pictures where her house looks like a model home and has that little beautiful aroma right there, you're going to sell some more that way too. So don't forget about the Harvest Collection or any LTO after that first day. Alyssa's here. Do you got some tips for us? Things that you do for LTOs? Not to put you on the spot.
Well, for any of the stuff, I just like to, like someone else said too, just share it in your home and not just stock photos. I hate stock photos, and I hate seeing someone else's photos from another company of their stock photos. I want to see it in use. So
For sure. Maybe we still have some time, so I think we will talk just a minute, unless you guys have more ideas on how to advertise an LTO. I want to talk for a minute about what to do that morning or that day, maybe the day before, to make sure that the launch runs smoothly for you, because the launches don't always run smoothly. They could give you an ulcer. But I want to give you some tips on what I do and want to hear some tips on what you do to make that run smoothly that morning, unless somebody has some more ideas on how to advertise for LTOs and get orders and pre-orders. No, we're good there. Okay. So just to put you on the spot, I'll share too, but someone tell me something that you do that morning or the night before to make sure the launch runs smoothly for you.
Explain the queue.
To who?
Customers.
And your frontline.
Yes.
Train them, your new people for sure. What else? Authors, well, somebody is thinking and getting on here. One thing about the queue too, know whether there's going to be a queue or not. There's not always a queue. I remember one time I was waiting for something to launch and I kept sitting there thinking, when are they going to put me in the queue? And I kept going into my workstation and my website and I was like, what in the heck? And then I finally realized that it went live at 10 and there's no queue, and I could have went and ordered it, but I was waiting. So know if there's a queue or not. That's a good tip. Who else has one? Hi, Madison. And if you guys don't know, the queue starts at 9:56 always. So even though the workstation says between this and this or whatever, be on your workstation and be on your website at 9:56. I usually get in like at 9:50 into both of them. You might want to get in on them on multiple devices. Have your phone going, have your computer going, have your iPad going. And so whatever gets you in there fastest is the one that you're going to use. And then Scentsy will open it around 10:15. So that's always the way it works. So even though the workstation says something a little bit different in the news tab, that's how it goes.
Oh, I mean, you last one from March.
What was I gonna say? Also, you can shoot. Well, I'll just go with make sure you know if it's a 10 o'clock launch or a midnight launch, because October 1st coming up is a midnight launch.
Yes. We are so blessed that we have, well, those that are here on the West Coast, because we just get to do the midnight. Other people have to get up like at 3 and get their orders in. So another thing, always, make sure you have a open party, the party that you're going to attach it to. Obviously, I would check that the night before. Sometimes if you all of a sudden think, oh my God, I forgot, and you're in your workstation and you go to open that order that you're going to put everything in, it takes a little bit of time for it to show up on the website sometimes. So make sure you do that the night before, kind of check your website, make sure all of your parties are showing there. A reason a party might not show is if the end date has expired, right? If you had your not with a party click here thing open and it expired on the 15th of September, the party's still there, it's still open, but you're not going to see it on your personal website if that end date has expired. So you can always go back and change it, but make sure you see it on your website before that morning. Another thing that I do, I write down a little order form, and then I also go into my workstation and I create an individual order for each order. So an individual order for something that's being direct shipped attached to the party. So that next morning, if I get into my workstation first, then all I have to do is go to open orders and then scroll down to pending, and it'll have those individual orders there. I can click on it, add the items, get out. If you're in your website, you're going to have to enter all that information real fast, right? Type real fast. So make sure you have that order form, because if you thought you were going to do everything over in your workstation with those individual orders, and then you have to go to your website first because the workstation didn't open, you need all their information. You need their name, you need their address, you need their email address, you need your phone number. And if that's in your workstation and you thought it was going to self-populate, you're going to be in trouble because you don't have it down on your order form. Trust me, I learned. That's why I'm telling you, because it happened to me. So be ready for that scenario, whatever scenario that is. Lately, they've been real similar, but in the past, it'd be like 15 minutes before you're going to get in your workstation. I'm like, So, Christy, did you have something?
Oh no, that just happened to me. That just happened to me.
Why didn't
And
you tell
thank
me that
goodness.
sooner?
Yeah, that was really nice to be able to go. Actually, I was like planning on doing it, and I ordered for her a million times, and I didn't have it down, so I went into the workstation and put her in individual order because it was all right there, like you said. But I was like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Yeah, because if you're in your website trying to enter it and you think her information's in your workstation, you'll go grab it real quick. You can't because you're in the queue over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another little trick that I do is I just put a Post-it on my order form if I'm adding it to somebody's order, just to make sure I've attached it to that party. That's what I meant to say. If you're attaching it to a party, I would put it a little sticky or something just to make sure that you do. Because remember, now Scentsy's not moving orders around anymore. The website is very succinct in when you're checking out. It's asking you if you're going to attach this to a party. You have to, there's no way that you can't not do that if you're reading everything, right? So they're not going to move anything later. So you need to make sure that happens. You don't want your hostess or somebody who has a shopping link open that you're putting an order in for them not to get credit for that.
So I was watching a training on YouTube, and I can't remember who mentioned it, but they said to always have a party that says new customers click here, existing customers click here. It's actually worked. I've always had one that said, not a party guest or no party click here. Nobody except like my good friends that know the drill, but those random orders I would get, they would never click that. But now since I've added those two, they're clicking the new customer or existing customer. So that was a huge game changer for me.
I like that idea. And then you know if they're new or existing, so you know whether
Exactly.
to add them to Project Broadcast and all the things, or yeah,
Yep. Yep.
or ask them who referred you to. That's
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a
Good idea.
huge game changer for me.
Mhm.
I think it was
Um,
Jennifer Aniston or Anderson.
Anderson, yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, just a little tip, I always get payment up front if I'm direct shipping. I can always refund the money back to them if something sells out fast, but I can't always get the money back from them or the product back from them if they ghost me, right? So you want to get that payment up front, just to cover your butt. Another thing some people do, I don't personally do this, but you can if you want. Some people on that morning will go in, get all their things, use their hostess benefits, and close the party right then, right there, right? So what they do the night before is they put like placeholders in that would be the same amount as whatever you're going to order the next day, so that you can add your hostess benefits the night before, use all of those, and then that next morning add what's coming out, delete the placeholders, make sure you delete the placeholders, otherwise you're going to have a lot of product you don't want, and then the hostess benefits will be right there, and then you can close the party. I don't do that because I feel like that's too much to do that morning when I want to get in quick and out quick. But it is a thing that some people do, so just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah. Now that shipping's just $10, I tell my team and everybody, don't do that. Don't do it. You could lose something. Another
Yeah.
thing that I've realized when we've done LTOs and the flash sales is I have went into my VIP group because most of the time I do the ordering for my people. For flash sales, I kind of have them do it, and then they know how spoiled they are by me. So, but I tell them, give them the little list of things. So if you're going to order, this is the things. One thing is to tell them not to hit the refresh button,
Yes.
because that will either set you back, or it's actually happened with a couple people where it clicked it to the the consultant, like one down from them or something, and it's attached to that. So, yeah, tell them just to, because sometimes it takes a minute, and when we're in the queue and you feel like, oh wait, nothing's happening, and so they get a little impatient and they do that. So I would definitely say, do not, when I come down, you're so nice.
Don't hit that button. Another thing that I've been doing recently, which might help some of you, or just a tip, I order things for my fairs, right? Especially licensed things, because they sell like crazy, especially if they're like sold out, right? And they can only get them with me that day. So I might order 10 of a warmer. So what I've decided that I'm going to do, I used to go in and get all my customers' things first because I didn't want them to sell out. But now in my head, I'm going in and ordering my warmers first, like my 10 warmers, and then going back and getting my customers, because I feel like then I got mine. But if something sells out, I could ship them to them if I don't get theirs in on time. So just kind of doing it a little backwards. I used to do the customers first and then my extra, but I feel like doing it this way makes a little more sense because I'll have a little cushion in case something does sell out quickly. Anything else on that morning? Spike your coffee with a little Kahlua, something like that. No. All right. So just curious, after everything we've kind of talked about, how many of you have, and this is like, this is hard for me because we always say finish the month strong, right? But how many of you have thought about advertising for the holiday catalog already?
Yeah.
Can you say that again?
How many of you have thought about or are advertising for the holiday collection already?
I sent out flyers last week to everybody. And my aunt, she had already told me she wanted the 4 trailers, but she's added more to it. So I am so thankful. I have to stay up late on a Friday night and not on a Monday or Tuesday night.
Yeah, that worked out good for you, huh?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to disappoint her because
Yeah.
she does not do internet ordering at all whatsoever. So
Yeah. I guess the reason I'm asking that too is, we want to finish the month strong. Yes, we do. But if Santa Jack sells out on October 1st and you didn't tell your Jack customers, they're going to be mad at you. Are you going to miss out on a lot of PRV? Maybe. So think about that. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard little ball to juggle, but I would maybe not like post it out there if you haven't met your goals for this month. But those people who love Jack Skellington and who ordered from you before you get the Jack Skellington things, I really think you should be contacting them because they're crazy and they'll buy it all. And you don't want to miss out on that opportunity because that is one thing that may sell out. I think the rest of the holiday brochure you're probably okay with. But that one you might want to do a little advertising this week after the Scentsy Buddy sale.
So I'm doing my 5th party this month and I'm starting, well, today, but the party will go live Wednesday. And I told her because she wanted to do it on October 1st too. But I said, we need a couple of days to talk about it and for them to know me. And then I'll talk about all the Christmas stuff. So then on October 1st, they'll want to buy. If we just do it the first day, they will miss it. So I'm still starting strong and rolling into October.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Smart. Unless she wants to be flipped, and then that's a problem. But you can deal with that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just, well, never mind. We'll talk about LTOs. I'll pop on that in our after conversation. But hopefully that just gave you guys some good tips and some good ideas. And maybe you're thinking, oh, this LTO, I don't really want to tell people about it, but I think you should. I think you don't want to miss out on an opportunity, and you want to give really good customer service, right? It's kind of like if your customer loves sea salt and avocado and that's all they buy, and you didn't tell them it was being discontinued or to add it to your Scentsy Club, it just kind of makes you feel a little guilty, right? Like, oh my God, I should have told her. So all LTOs are kind of like that a little bit. You never know who's going to want that product. So let them know. That's your job. Now, add anything to that, Christy?
No, I don't think I have anything to add to that. I think it's all been covered.
All right. Anything else about LTOs before I turn the recording off?